Welcome to Brotherhood First, the podcast. I'm your host, Franklin Stacy Jr. Joining me today are brothers Gary Moore and Lamar Anderson, along with my producer. You might know him as the other brother, Brother Alex Wood. Today, we're reflecting on how college days swiftly pass. Man, college days swiftly pass. For me, they swiftly passed because once I got into fraternity, I lost my freaking mind.
And lost your track of time.
And I lost my track of time and my sense. And, you know, when I, it's funny because, you know, when I did get to Western, I had some of the best grades of my life starting out. And you know, when I was in class, you know, everyone was in. When I went to my first class, everyone was there, and they gave out the syllabus, and then they sent you home. But then you came back in the class, there was really hardly nobody in the classroom, and you wonder, like, okay, well, where is everybody? So, I mean, that was neither here nor there. You know, I'm supposed to be here, I'm here. So, you know, I noticed that everybody would come to class when it was test time. And then, so the purpose of the syllabus was to let you know, like, you know, what this was, you know, what was the breakdown. And then people would come take the test, and then they would just leave. They wouldn't come to class. And I guess that's why now, I guess in the rubric, they have like classroom participation to force you to come to class. I think that's where that came from. Yeah. But you know, I had some of the best grades of my life because I was an average student in high school. And, you know, I did because I was so afraid of my mother that I didn't realize that there was no parent-teacher conferences in college. You know?
You're on your own, buddy.
Yeah, you're on your own. And once I realized that there was no parent-teacher conferences, by then I was an alpha. And I'm like, okay, well, my mom don't need to know that I'm not going to class. So, you know, here I am now, you know, I'm in this fraternity. I'm, you know, big man. I'm on the track team. You know, I didn't know how to handle that.
But are you saying that you didn't realize that when these people weren't coming to class, that they were probably studying in between time? I never thought about that. And then, really, long story short, bro, I lost my mind. You know, I got into the frat, and everything that was about the frat, you know, I just did not, and it was at no fault of the brothers at Eta Eta, because they were doing what they were supposed to do. And you know, it's funny because, you know, my Illinois executive director, Brother Quincy Banks, he termed it, you fratted out. Ooh. That was the term. And it's like you know, when I realized, and it wasn't that I got kicked out because of academics. Believe it or not, I got kicked out because I was too freaking lazy to fill out the financial aid form. Oh. And so I wasn't able to register. And I had to then leave because I was living in the dorms. And they're like, you're not going to live in here rent-free. And I got my check a week after they sent me out, they kicked me out. I told them just keep it, you know, pay the bill and everything, which was the best thing I could have done, because 15 years later, or however many years later, when I decided to go back to school, and the reason why I went back to school is for two reasons. Because number one, I wanted to finish something that I started. And number two, how am I going to tell college brothers as an alpha advisor and an area director that you need to stay on your studies and you need to do this and you need to do that when I don't even have a degree? So I had to go back, and thank God for satellite. Now we're doing satellite campuses, and the University of Illinois at Springfield had a satellite campus. I got my degree in criminal justice, and I was able to graduate with a 3.2 GPA, and I was upset because I should have got a 3.3 because they gave me an A-. But, you know, it is the reason why I am so in awe of college brothers, because they were able to do something that I was not able to do, you know, and I am not afraid to tell that story. I'm not afraid to tell that story because I don't want one single college brother of Alpha Phi Alpha to go the route that I went. And I went this route. God put that in. He had that plan for me. He had that plan for me so that I could be able to share that story to other college brothers and to give them the respect that they deserve because they are able to come to college. They are able to maintain their academics. They are able to become brothers of the fraternity, do the work of the fraternity, in some cases be in leadership, for the fraternity and still graduate.
So one thing that made me think, as you were talking, I thought of immediately is that as a first generation college student, the reason a lot of that stuff happens is because you have no black and gold print to show you kind of what that looks like in terms of making sure you're able to be successful. Yeah. So it also helped me to remember, like, when I attended Western Illinois University, we actually started a program, Brother Michael Skurlock. It was called Ethnic Student Outreach, Recruitment, and Retention. I had, if you think about it, I had no idea that recruiting brothers to attend an institution was very important to get done, as well as making sure that they're able to stay and graduate from that institution was very important. So he actually started this particular program, and it was actually ran by brothers. The majority of people who were actually a part of that program were brothers. And the majority of those, brothers, the primary focus was any students who were going to land onto that campus wanted to make sure that you were going to graduate from the institution.
And not for the purpose of joining Alpha Phi Alpha, but to get a degree.
Exactly.
To get a degree.
And I think one of the things that as we look at the fraternity, there's this dynamic, right? College and alumni. We have these two classifications of membership. And so somehow that means that we're in two different categories, and all of that, and that's not the way that it's supposed to be.
No.
For me personally, that transition, from college to alumni chapter, it wasn't so much myself, it was the alumni chapter brothers. They had a vision in mind. And I think that that's something that we need to also look at is, just stepping outside of ourselves, understanding that we need to reach back and pull the college brothers forward, right?
Yeah.
Because in my case, a lot of the guys in the alumni chapter that I ended up becoming part of, Iota Mu Lambda, most of them were old enough to be my father or even grandfather at that point. A lot of them were retired military and in their second career, so they were very advanced in life compared to myself. Did we have a whole lot in common in terms of life experience and interest? Probably at that point, no. But as far as Alpha Phi Alpha, yes. But they had to show me that. And within 5 years of being a member of that chapter, I was president. Not because I sought it, but because by design, they made it happen and orchestrated it. I think that's something that we need to think about when we talk about Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated develops leaders. That's what we need to do proactively. Engage our college brothers and bring them along. Encourage them. You've got to get your degree. You got to finish that phase. But you'll spend more of your alpha career as an alumni brother than you will in college.
Yeah, and I love the way you mentioned reach back and pull those brothers. We have to as alumni brothers be much more respectful and not just have these college brothers follow us, but have them walk side by side with us.
Right. Well, the other thing that we have is we have platforms, institutions, workplaces, circles of influence that we can introduce them to, take them off campus. They can come to a city council meeting and see a brother there on the council. They can come to a school board meeting and see a brother, as president of the school board. They can come, to a radio station that a brother owns. They can go to a TV station where a brother is, the head of news. You know, they can go to an art studio where a brother runs. You know, the alphas in town, in the city that we're in, are in places where these young brothers can not only just have role models who talk to them philosophically about character and tenets and those kinds of things, but actually tangible environments, where they can bring them in. And let's say you want to be a doctor, then you can go to this brother's doctor's office, and so we maintain that connection, that continuum of elevation.
Let's be clear. Our college brothers are the lifeblood of this fraternity. We don't exist without them. And so, if we don't begin to really put a serious investment in them, to all my alumni brothers, if you think that this fraternity is going to continue without the college brothers, you are sadly mistaken. You're sadly mistaken. And we need to get to a point where we start meeting our college brothers where they are. Stop looking at them and judging them. We were once 20-year-old college student, 19-year-old college student, that didn't listen to adults and things like that, and we didn't listen to them because we got tired of hearing what they had to say. Because they were talking, not talking to us, they were talking at us. Telling us what to do. The first thing you think is, you're telling me what to do. And with those alumni brothers who are not, in the college chapters that came through at the college level, you're not a brother in good standing of that college chapter. You don't have a voice. Your chapter should have Lambda at the end of it.
Right.
That's your chapter should have Lambda at the end of it.
And keep in mind, what is college? The typical years, 18 to 22. You're coming in as a teenager out of high school, and you're leaving as a young man, a college graduate.
Yeah.
That's a transformative period of your life.
Yeah.
And if during that time you earn a degree and get the concepts from Alpha, I mean, you're solid.
Yeah.
And we have to take into consideration those college brothers bring a lot to the alumni level.
Okay.
Like, we can't be arrogant enough to believe, like, at the alumni level, we just have it on lock. College brothers, because things are always changing and growing.
Yeah.
They bring a wealth of information that we need to continue the organization.
Yeah, and I can tell you, when it comes to the modern technology, when it comes to social media, when it comes to what's actually going on, within the young people. I mean, that's important. It's important to have that college brother with you. It's important, to make sure that the college brother is not just a member of the committee, but he is a chairman of the committee or a co-chairman of the committee. Let's let him take the lead. When you talk about, we just said develops leaders. Our mission statement started with that. It started with that for a reason, because that's an obligation. That is the first obligation. It's to develop leaders. It's not to be a dictator. It's to be an advocate. It's to be a support. To speak up for on their behalf. But we really do have to get to a point where we bring those college brothers in and we show them the love that they need and the respect that they need. Because I always tell a college brother president, the only difference between you and an alumni brother president is the word college and alumni. You are the duly elected president of this chapter. You deserve the respect, and you were duly elected by the brothers of that chapter that are in good standing. Not the advising alumni chapter, not the area director. as Illinois District Director, I serve you. You don't serve me. I serve you. When you have something that you need for your chapter and you pick up the phone, it is my responsibility to make that happen. And I hope that we start to get to that attitude so that when these brothers see that they were given the respect at the alumni level, then now they want to come and be a part of an alumni chapter so that, hey, the respect was given to me as a college brother. I want to keep that going. I want to now join the alumni chapter so that never dies.
Yeah, and the key word, man, respect, because I think a lot of times, again, because of that age difference and dynamic, we want to treat the brother like our child.
Yeah.
Right? And yes, offer guidance, offer support from your experience and your network and all of that. But at the same time, he's a brother. He's not your child.
Yep.
Right.
So
Yep.
respect him
Yep.
as a brother.
Yeah. And he's not your little brother.
No.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's not your little brother. Because to my from what I remember, little brothers were Sphinxmen.
Right.
Exactly.
Pledges.
Yeah, little brothers were pledgees, and in this case, candidates. So and then Sphinxmen and then probate. So they're not our little brothers. They're our brothers. Period.
To Lamar's point, they bring a fresh perspective of the new generation.
Yes, because this fraternity is ever evolving, and it is ever changing, and everything that we're doing right now, get ready because something different is going to come. And so this was a great conversation, and I hope this conversation really wasn't for the college brothers; it was for the alumni brothers. Pay attention to what we're talking about. Pay attention to what we're talking about. Our college brothers are fine. I'd like to see you run a chapter with one or two brothers.
Right.
I mean, they have struggles. They have struggles that they have to deal with, and in some cases, it's beyond their control. But our college brothers are going to be fine because I tell you what, I'm going to make sure that they're fine as long as I'm on this earth. So, brothers, I appreciate you so much. And I want to take this opportunity to thank my guests, Brother Gary Moore, Brother Lamar Anderson, and the brother we all know as the other brother, Brother Alex Woods. Brothers, God bless, and I love you.